Week in review. Major U.S. stock indexes were ended the week modestly down. The Nasdaq declined 0.06%, the S&P 500 fell 0.34%, and the Dow Jones fell 0.50%. In a down week value, stocks outperformed growth stocks, with the Russell 1000 value down 0.21%, while the Russell 1000 growth was down 0.48%. Small cap stocks, as measured by the Russell 2000 performance, was like the S&P 500 declining 0.32% for the week, but has been the standout in 2026, rising 7.58% year to date. International markets continue their positive returns, with international developed markets, EAFE, up 3.60% and emerging markets, EM, up 6.94% in 2026. Key economic data this week will provide insights into Fed interest rate policy, labor markets, inflation trends, the U.S. consumer. The Federal Reserve Board will conclude its two-day policy meeting on Wednesday. Investors' expectations are for no action this meeting. Consumer Confidence Survey will be released on Tuesday, January 27th, giving insight into the U.S. consumer. On Thursday, January 29th, weekly unemployment claims will be published, offering insights into the labor market. GDP, a measure of the U.S. economic activity, continues to increase. The latest update to the third quarter estimates move higher to 4.4% from the previous estimate of 4.3%. In the second quarter, GDP growth was 3.8%, so the overall level of activity in the economy increased, which is a good sign for the health of the overall economy. Attention now turns to earnings season and the decision of the Federal Reserve this week regarding the Fed funds rate. Expectations among traders is the probability of rates staying unchanged is 97%. Interest rate policy is closely monitored by investors to help determine the U.S. economy's cost of money, which impacts borrowing costs along with stock and bond prices. Q4 earnings kicks into high gear this week, with four of the Magnificent Seven companies reporting: Meta, MSFT, TSLA, and AAPL. As of Friday, analysts estimate that earnings for the S&P 500 rose 8.2% versus an 8.0% after the first week of earnings season. J&J, Johnson & Johnson, reported better than expected earnings and revenue. The company has topped consensus revenue estimates for the last 4 quarters. Shares increased 0.68% for the week. PG, Procter & Gamble, beat earnings expectations, but revenue was weaker than expected. The company tweaked its 2026 earnings outlook. The outlook moved to a range of 1% to 6% from prior forecast of 3% to 9% due to higher restructuring charges. Shares rose 4.62% for the week.